All right, so it's Nic Harcourt, and I'm here with, well, two of the deers and a small deer. It's Murray and Natalia, and Apollo joins us as well. And I'm in Los Angeles. You guys are in Montreal. First of all, how are you doing?
Great, generally speaking. Yeah,
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 we're holding up.
yeah.
You know, I know that obviously for a lot of musicians, touring and performing out live is the lifeblood of most bands, but recording is a key part of it as well. And we were talking just before I started recording. I should actually just cop to the fact that we did half this interview and I wasn't recording. So, but you were talking about the fact that you finished the new Deers record at the end of last year, and there's a new single out now as well. How has lockdown impacted you guys being able to work as a band at this time?
Well, I mean, the obvious, thing is not being able to rehearse, but it's a good thing that we never rehearse anyway. Even when we're about to go on tour, like we'll literally rehearse. We'll literally have one rehearsal and then just start the tour. And it's usually just making sure your gear works. But yeah, I mean, I miss the guys, but thankfully, with technology, if we wanted to be creative, we could still do things together and keep in touch. We're in touch a lot. So
I think also, yeah, like being at this moment in the release of the album coming up, that there's not a lot of pressure to make a new album right now. So in that respect,
I'm grateful for that,
yeah,
actually, that we kind of got even right down to the physical product, getting to the manufacturers, right in the nick of time.
Yeah, like the vinyl getting manufactured right before the lockdown happened. So we got in under the wire.
Yeah. So we were pretty lucky in that respect. But and then, the album's still coming out in a couple of weeks, and I think people are gonna need it and gonna want it. It's like some people were asking whether or not it's affecting the release date, and we were like, well, I mean, people still need stuff to do. So
exactly. Yeah. So what have you been doing? I mean, when did you guys get shut down? I mean, I know here in LA, I think it was like March 16th or 17th, we had a shelter in place. What was it in Montreal?
Around the same time, like just maybe about a week before that, they shut things down here. And
I think the 13th was officially when it was like, don't go to school, don't go to work,
yeah,
don't do anything.
And yeah, I mean, it's funny because that very week I was asked to do a couple of works for hire and stuff like that, so I was super busy the first couple of weeks, and then we've been quite busy getting ready for the release. So it's just it's been still a bit of a grind for some reason. and managing that with both kids home has been especially challenging too. So we take turns working and looking after the kids all day, which is what a lot of people are doing. And but we're finding a groove. I feel like we found a groove. And Natalia and I have been working together for some time now, so it's not hard for us to find
we're very adaptable to each other's needs.
One of the things about artists is that in most cases people are working at home, and you're not on a regular schedule like 9 to 5 or 8 till 4 or whatever it is. What I found, because I do my radio shows from home now, is that I feel lucky to actually have a schedule. I feel lucky that I have to be in front of the microphone at a certain time every morning, and that I put pants on because I think it's important to show up.
I agree.
but,
one
but,
century.
but obviously, you know, musicians who are working at home, or any artists who are working at home, have you found that you've had to sort of put a schedule in place in how you're dealing with the kids? I just saw Apollo. How old is Apollo?
7.
And you've got a 14-year-old as well. So do you guys have a schedule? Like you get up in the morning and do certain things?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's important. I feel like it's, no matter what's going on, I feel like it's actually, this is going to sound funny, but when feels like a million years ago, but we were playing a festival in, what the hell place was Denmark or somewhere in Scandinavia or Belgium or
Anyway,
and I got to meet Thurston Moore, and this is like a long time ago, and I was asking about what's it like, you know,
because we were on tour with our daughter, who's now a teenager.
no, actually she wasn't even born yet. You were pregnant.
Oh, okay.
I was getting ready for that. I was getting ready for that life, and I took him aside and I asked him, hey, and you know, like, do you have any tips for this? You know.
Oh, because he was on tour with his kid, was like 12 or something.
Yeah, she was much older, but like, you know, family unit on tour, and that was going to be some new territory for us and moving forward. And he gave me some really, really valuable advice that I pass on to other people, you know, which was like that kids ultimately like and need routine, you know, or need and like routine, and it's important to have some, like, a every day keeping a structured, you know, vibe for them. And he was absolutely right, because he said that when that goes off the rails, you start to see them act out, and we would see that happening when things were a little bit topsy-turvy. You'd see the kids kind of freaking out, and so I always remember that. So
and now you're passing that on.
Now I'm passing that on to anyone who's listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, but it was, you know, I doubt he would ever even remember A, meeting me, and B, telling me that. But I remember it very well, and I carry it all the time. You know.
What's been the most difficult part of this for you? Is it personal, like, you know, dealing with the relationships with everybody stuck in the house, or is it figuring out what's next work-wise?
I'd say neither, because I think, like, you know, unless the entire world was absolutely burning to the ground, then there'd be something to worry about. But I feel like we're going to pull through this. And personally, I had such a hectic year. The last, you know, 2 years actually was very, very hectic work-wise. So I'm kind of on a totally selfish level enjoying the, you know, the slowdown of the pause button. It's allowing me to recharge creatively, recharge spiritually and physically, and I think when we get through this, you know, I feel like I'll be able to. I'll be fully recharged, you know, to go back out there. I was kind of dreading. We were supposed to be on tour through April, and I was kind of dreading it because I had just finished touring in, like, you know, on my solo record, like December or something like that, and I was still. And then we finished the Deers. No, I finished touring in October, and then finished the Deers record right after, and it was just like I was beaten up pretty bad by the end of it. And then I took a month or two off, and then this thing hit, and then the tour got canceled, and I was like, I felt completely relieved. I know that sounds terrible, but, you know, I was so relieved to have that extra time to just be with these guys and not have to pack up my bags and do that bullshit again, you know. As much as I love playing shows and being with the fans, it's just like, it's really hard, you know.
Right.
It's hard, you know.
Well, and especially, you know, with children as well. It's not like, you know, you're a newly married couple or a couple of single people saying, hey, let's go out and play some rock and roll. It's like, there's other considerations, obviously, you know,
Yeah.
being in a band when you have a family.
Yeah.
When is the album actually out? You said it's out in a couple of weeks. We're recording this on May 4th.
Okay, so it's coming out May 15th, and yeah.
And then it's coming out. It's like digitally and
Like,
via like mail orders.
yeah.
Like, but it's at the retail level, it's not coming out until August, I think 21st. So, but
Well,
as of May 15th, it should be out everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
digitally.
So we had to make that decision, you know, whether or not we should continue with the album release date, and it did make sense to hold it back, but because the retail world is kind of in a holding pattern,
with shops closed,
and stuff, and we kind of just decided, because a lot of people have pre-ordered the album, so there's no point in holding that back from them. We should just ship it to them as a release date, so they'll be getting their records, CDs and vinyl and stuff around release date, and digitally it's going to be available. So we're excited about that, and then, you know, it'll be in stores as of August 26th, I believe.
26th?
I think, or
21st?
21st or 26th.
Something.
I'll have to check.
Are
I
you-
have to.
Are you looking at rescheduling tour dates right now, or is that too far out?
Everything got rescheduled, but, you know, we don't know. We still don't have a crystal ball into the fall, you know.
Yeah,
but,
like so far we haven't canceled anything. We've just rescheduled everything.
yeah, so we were originally booked from April through, I don't know, through the summer, and then now everything just got pushed further down the road to November through to December, and possibly some stuff in 2021. We noticed a lot of people have been shifting their dates to 2021. You know, we're prepared to move things along, you know, but we're not canceling anything. I mean, we have an incredible agent in the UK that just was able to, from the time we had that first call to turning it all around within days. He had the entire book tour rebooked. The guy's a monster. He's unbelievable.
So obviously, as you said, no one's got a crystal ball. We don't know when live music will kick off again. And it does seem to, you know, we're getting differing opinions, I guess, from different territories. As you said, you know, in the UK, maybe they're thinking that live music will be happening in the fall. In Los Angeles here, everybody's just in a holding pattern. I think people I know at venues are like, we're trying to figure out how we can, you know, do anything live. What's it like where you guys live? What's happening in Montreal?
Well, Montreal and Quebec in general has been the hardest hit in the country. Yeah, they're trying to open up schools and open up some businesses while still maintaining certain varying degrees of, they're starting to reopen things.
As far as live shows, though, that's like at the bottom of the
totally
list.
the bottom
All
of
of the
the list.
summer festivals, the big thing in Montreal, the festival season, like, because it's not just music. We also have comedy fest, we have jazz fest, we have all kinds of stuff here. And it's all been postponed with just in a holding pattern. Nothing's been rescheduled. All the venues are closed, obviously. And there is a lot of uncertainty. Nobody really knows what is going to happen and when people will be able to go to shows again.
You know, I feel living here in Los Angeles and just sort of reading the room, so to speak, that this is going to be carrying on for a while. There's going to be a lot of
until there's a vaccine, absolutely.
Exactly. So presuming you're going to be stuck at home for another few months, have you started to think about new projects, new things that you can do creatively?
Yeah, I mean, we're in a really lucky position in that, you know, we have our own studio, so we don't have to, like a fully equipped studio with a huge console and everything, that we can pretty much knock out anything we want right from literally our backyard.
Nice.
So, so I think it's entirely possible that we'll knock out something and as I said, with technology, it's like you can still have people email tracks and put together something really interesting, you know.
Are you doing that? Are you starting to collaborate with other people?
Well, you know, it's funny. You know the band Stars. You know,
Yeah, I
right?
know those guys very well. I was just talking to
Yeah.
Talk last week.
Uh, I, I was working on a little project, and I asked Amy to sing on something, but she didn't have some gear at home, and I had a mobile rig, so I packed it up, cleaned it up, packed it up in a little briefcase, and dropped it off on her doorstep. And
Nice.
now she has a mini studio at her home, and we can collaborate anytime.
Out of the last 5-6 weeks, has anything surprised you about living in such close quarters with your family and not being able to do the normal day-to-day stuff? Is there anything that's come out of that? Any particular moments that you would share with us of something unexpected that happened?
It's weird. My short answer would be not really, but because, you know, I mean, we travel all the time. We tour together all the time. We're constantly, like, as a family, in unpredictable situations and in tight spaces, you know, in a van all day for 10 days in a row.
It's good training, let's just
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
This is nothing new to you guys.
We're well trained.
Yeah.
Trained for
The
this stuff, you know. So it's like well trained at kind of not being in control of your situation, you know, at the mercy of the circumstances. And when you're in a touring band, it's weird. It's like you have very little control over, like, the schedule. Like, once the schedule is made, it's written in stone. You can't do anything, and then you arrive at the venue and you're trapped there, and you can't go anywhere. You don't know where to go anyway.
There's not enough
Half the time, there's not enough time to go anywhere. So there's a lot of, it's an exercise in constraints. And so this is kind of not a big deal. I miss my friends a little bit. Actually, speaking of Amy, she drove by yesterday just to say hi from a distance. She was in the neighborhood.
Wave from the car.
Yeah, and I just, like, I was thinking after, it's like, that actually totally made my day. Like, just seeing her from a distance. I wanted to give her a hug, but it's like, you know, we're not there yet. But yeah. But yeah, you know, like, I do miss that. I miss my friends a little bit, you know, just being with friends and having a drink, and, you know, I do miss that a little bit. But aside from that, and I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised that I missed that.
Yeah.
You know? Because the other thing is, being in a touring band, it's like you're used to being away from people for a long time.
But also touring, though, is very social. You're interacting with other people all the time.
It's so true, but, like, you don't see your friends for a long time, because
you
we're
just see your bandmates, because they're not your friends.
Because we're also busy, you know. Like, when you're home, they're on tour, and when you're not on tour, they're home, and when you're making a record, they're not making a record. You know what I mean? So it's like. But with this, it's different, you know. It's like, now we're all home, but we can't see each other, you know. So it's really weird.
Has the situation, the pandemic, the change, obviously, I mean, this is a worldwide thing. Has it impacted your thoughts about songwriting? Have you written any new songs? Has it filtered through into songwriting?
Well, have you listened to a Deers record ever?
Yeah, of course. Come on. So it's going to get darker. Is that what you're telling me? I mean, it's already kind of like, sit in a warm bath with a razor blade. But, like, I mean,
funny, a lot of people have been saying, even with this record coming up, you know, the songs that they've heard is just like, my God, it's like you guys knew this was happening, you know.
We have a song called "We'll Go Into Hiding."
Literally have a song called "We'll Go Into Hiding," and it's interesting, you know, to be in that position. So I don't know what we're going to be writing about next, you know. we'll see. I mean, I don't know if I want to document this in song. I feel like we're gonna have enough songs about this, and I feel like, you know, maybe I'll tap into something much deeper that I'm getting from this period that's not related, you know, in an obvious way to this period, you know.
Well, the new album is called Lovers Rock, and hopefully we'll see you in Los Angeles sometime in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, Los Angeles is one of my favorite places on earth, you know, and so I would be gutted if I couldn't go back soon. I have lots of friends there, and that I'd love to see, and again, and I love being there, and I love playing there, and spending time there, and so I look forward to that a lot.
Well, thanks for taking a minute and talking to us. We'll be popping this up on our Here at Home series, and it's good to
Cool.
see you guys.
Good to see you too,
thanks a
man.
lot.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
guys.